When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. They're the home of the #1 checkout on the planet and the not-so-secret Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales happening. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds and Skims use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/start selling, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/start selling to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/start selling.
She needs to do a podcast since she never got her due. She's a big lesbian and a loudmouth Jew. With a gasket always ready to blow, you're listening to Judy Show. Who? Judy Show. Wait a minute, who are you talking about? Oh, she's an asshole. What is wrong with you? Oh, you suck. So long. Fuck off.
Hey everyone, welcome to It's Judy Show with Judy Gold. I am your host, Judy Gold, and I am so happy you're listening. I'm recording this from Tel Aviv, Israel, and God, I have so much to tell you. I can't wait to do a rant, but this week we have part one of my interview with Robin Tyler, and I would ring the bell right now if I had one, but as I said, I'm in Israel, and I didn't bring my bell. I could ring the bell from my phone, but then that would require me to actually make an effort, and not in the mood right now because so tired, as you can tell by my voice. But anyway, so I have so much to tell you, but I was in Women's Week in Provincetown for Women's Week last week, which was fantastic. It's the 40th anniversary, and it was just so nice to be around women, a lot of them my age-ish, and just the arts and the culture and the, you know, it was great. It was really great because Provincetown, a lot of the time, is all about men, and Women's Week is all about women, and it was great. It was just fantastic. The shows were great. The support of the women for one another. It's fantastic. So, and the one thing I'm sorry I missed was Kate Clinton, who was performing at Town Hall, but I couldn't. I left for Israel on Thursday, which was a shit show trip, which I can't wait to fucking rant about. But so this is part one of Robin was there doing shows. She did 4 shows, I think. And I said, can I interview you? And if you watch the Netflix special Outstanding, which is the history of LGBTQ stand-up, she is really the through line of that documentary. And what a friggin' hero, icon, fearless. So we recorded for a long time. So it might be a 3-parter. I might do a rant in between because I have so much to say. And of course, election. But who knows? So just bear with me. But the interview is fantastic and you'll learn so much. I learned so much. She's fantastic. So that's what's on for today. I want to say that I am in Tel Aviv and I left my microphones on the plane because I'm so fucking tired. So I bought this shitty microphone at the mall in Tel Aviv. Mall. I say mall. Why do I say mall? Because I'm from New Jersey. And I'm using it right now, and I don't know how bad it is. Colin Schmaling, who edits the show, will tell me never to use it again. But it's all I have, and I wanted to record my intro from here. I want to say, as a Jew, I'm going to have to find a bell on my phone. I really feel like I have to find a bell because I'm recording from Israel, and I don't have a bell. and now it's looking. My phone is now looking up people name with the last name of Bell. Well, no, I just want an app that is a Bell. No, so go bye, take care, boo boo, close out, pull up. Yeah, all right. I'm closing all my apps out. That's what I'm doing right now. I really miss my microphone. Do you ever leave something on the plane? You're like, fuck. And then I went down. I was in Rome, and I went downstairs to the Lost and Found, and they were so nice. Like I was like, oh my God, the people here are so nice. But then, of course, they didn't find it. So, and here's the other thing. There was a guy in the Rome airport sitting there with a fucking, not even a regular Trump hat. It was like Trump, and then it had other shit on the side, like 45 and 47. And I was just like, everyone hates you. Like, everyone hates you. The one good thing about being overseas is that no one's talking about Trump and Harris and the election and the bullshit, because they have their own fucking issues. So, that is the one good thing. So anyway, I can't find the bell. All right, well, I don't have a bell. Ring. I have to say, being here in Tel Aviv and we were in Jerusalem. We did a show last night in Jerusalem. It was fantastic. Here's the thing. Part one is getting on a plane. I went from Cape Air. I went from Provincetown to Boston, Logan, to JFK, to Rome, Italy, to Israel. And getting on a plane and seeing people were so friendly, the flight attendants on El Al and on the ITA to Italy, even though I didn't understand what the fuck they were saying, and I felt like an asshole, but I did get the pasta. Anyway, being on a plane and, seeing yellow ribbons and dog tags and some acknowledgement that there are hostages, and an acknowledgement of the pain that we are suffering, and not just this angry, uneducated, willfully ignorant atmosphere. I guess it's an atmosphere where it just feels like you're validated. Like, yes, all this pain I'm feeling and sadness is valid, and you can be sad and you can feel for your people, and not everything is not like but, So I felt calm. I mean, everyone was like, "Don't go, don't go. I don't want you going. I don't want you going." And I felt so calm when I landed, and I needed this. I needed to be here. And no one's ripping down posters. No one's arguing with you. Everyone has different opinions here. They have different opinions, but they want the hostages home. That's the one thing they all want. We're not a people that agrees with one another. And there's a lot of people here from different parts of the political spectrum and different parts of the religious spectrum. But they all believe that they have a right to live in a Jewish state that they're indigenous to and defend itself, even though it's surrounded by people who fucking want them destroyed. Like, I just don't think you understand. No one wants innocent people dying. No one. But we're allowed to focus on the fact that we're still here and we're fighting a war for the entire world. Okay? Because if you want Sharia law, enjoy your kafiyah. Sharia kafiyah. Anyway, I could go on and on and on, but that was number one. And number two was, and I was talking about this with the other comics, Tom Cotter is here, and Nick Griffin, who are both not Jewish and unafraid and were happy to come, and Avi Lieberman, who is a Jew and neurotic. And he arranges this whole thing for the Kobe Mandel Foundation. And by the way, the Kobe Mandel Foundation, if you could donate anything, $5, $10, they are it's an organization that has a camp for kids with PTSD and bereaving mothers, and it's really, and they're overloaded with people, and it's really for people who are experiencing PTSD, and unfortunately, over 50 Nova survivors have ended their lives because of PTSD. Anyway, but what I wanted to say was that they are so thankful. Every one of them said, "Thank you for coming. No one comes here. Thank you, thank you, thank you." Even Tom Cotter said, because Avi was like, "Oh, they're going to be so thankful you're here." He said, I wasn't prepared for the amount of people who said thank you and the sincerity of it. So it feels really good to be here. And I have such a rant for you about my fucking luggage and traveling, which is coming up. But the fact that I left my like, you get off the plane and you're like, oh, fuck. And you can't go back on the plane, to get it. And I know exactly where it is. Like shit falls and moves around. And I should have looked under my seat. Whatever. I didn't. It was fine. It's not fine because I have this shitty microphone. But if this sounds really good, then it reminds me of my yo-yo story when I was 6. And I was a really good yo-yo person. And I was in a yo-yo contest at school. And I really wanted to win. And my butterfly yo-yo, the string broke the night before. And I was taking a huge tantrum. And I was like, so upset. I'm not going to win the yo-yo contest. And my mother like sewed the string back together. She was very handy. She made clothes and she knitted and she was fantastic. Anyway, and I was like, it's not good enough. It's not good. I was such a fucking brat. And so I used my under par yo-yo and I won the contest. And that was such a lesson to me. And now, yeah. Okay, so that's my yo-yo story. Anyway, yo-yo yaya. Ooh, fuck you, Yaya Sinmar, you fucking coward piece of shit. Okay, I know there's so much going on and I really want to talk about it, but I really want you to hear part 1 of my interview with Robin Tyler, who is Jewish and a Zionist. She is a Zionist as well. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating to have to prove to people that we have a right to exist, that this is our homeland, that it's the size of New Jersey. Where's Jordan? Where's Egypt? Where are all these other countries? Where are they? What are they doing? There's so much, but, and there's so much history here, and all these fucking idiots have no idea what the fuck they're talking. All right, I don't want to get on it. I don't want to get aggravated. Oh, let me just tell you about my upcoming dates. Fuck, I always forget to do that. But I think I'm scheduled to be on Stephanie Rule this Friday. Barring any like big news story, I will be on Stephanie Rule, and I'll be tired, but I'm getting my hair dyed. On October 29th, Tuesday, I will be doing the Israel Cancer Research Fund benefit. It's cocktails. It's going to be really fun. Go to my website, judygold.com, and you'll find out all about it. And then I'm in Bedford, New York on November 2nd. And I think I'm at, no, I'm not in Bedford. I think I'm in, oh, fuck. It's a gig for a synagogue and I think it's in Chappaqua. Okay, just go to my website, judygold.com, and you'll find out. And then I am in Chicago at the Big Gay Cabaret on November 8, 9, and 10. It's a small room. It's called the Big Gay Cabaret. It's in Chicago. And the issue is I need to sell tickets because he booked me, even though it's a big cabaret, he does have a couple comics there. Or they, I don't know if it's all he, but it is a big comedy festival that weekend in Chicago. And he booked me at a tiny cabaret the weekend of a comedy festival. So please, if you're in Chicago, just come to one of my shows. It's going to be really fun. November 8, 9, and 10. And then I'm in Poughkeepsie on November 16th, which is the day after my 62nd birthday. And then I'm in Philly on November 21st. Aventura, Florida on November 22nd. Boca Black Box Theater, which I love, on November 23rd. And then I think I might, and then it's Thanksgiving, and I think I kind of have to take a little time off because I'm exhausted. but I love working. Anyway, so that's my sketch. Sit back, relax, and enjoy part 1 of my interview with Robin Tyler. Hey everyone, welcome to It's Judy Show with Judy Gold. I'm your host, Judy Gold. That's the Jew bell. My guest today, I'm doing a live, in-person, I don't even know how to express my gratitude to you, what an icon you are, how you have been fearless, authentic, created so much for so many, and I think been overlooked. I've always thought you never got your due.
Oh, no.
But and I think that's personal on me because I want everyone to know who you are. You know, I believe history is the only way to evolve, is knowing your history. But ladies, gentlemen, they, thems, whoever whatever you call yourself, I am sitting next to the one and only Robin Tyler, icon. Robin, fucking A.
Thank you.
Fucking A.
I want you to know something. I don't feel overlooked at all. When you're old, and I'm 82 years old, somebody once said, when you're old, all you have is your memories. And that's true. And I cannot believe the life that I've led. I am so happy. I don't care about not being a star on establishment television, because to be a star, I would have had to stay in the closet. I was never in the closet. It's not even staying in. I was never in, so I never had to come out. But I'm so happy with my life that I've been, you know, closets are vertical coffins.
I love that.
And love that. Yeah, so all my life I've been free. And to say that as a lesbian, and as a Jew.
I know.
You know? I do this when we say Jew? Okay.
Yeah, I always forget because I get so into it. But, you know, it's funny when I do these interviews in person and I forget the bell. The guest is always like, don't you have to ring the bell? And I'm like, oh, my God. Well, can we just start, you know, first of all, if you don't know who Robin Tyler is, please just Google Robin Tyler. Robin.
Wikipedia is even better.
Yeah, Wiki's good. Someone hacked my Wiki page. So it's like, yes. And it's just nasty shit. Yeah. But here's the thing. You're featured in the Netflix documentary, Outstanding. And you are the through line of that film, which by Paige Hurwitz. And it is such an important film. Like, you know, it's so important because I feel like, and I was going to talk about this at the end, but there's so many entitled gay kids at this point who don't know anything, who are fighting the wrong fight and don't realize what it was like 20, 30 years ago. Does it frustrate you? Or
no, it doesn't. You know, my first time on stage when I was actually doing gay material, right? I did my album Always a Bridesmaid, Never a Groom in the 1970s, but in 72 I was at a bar in Long Beach, open 72, not Long Beach, Long Island, New York. So I'm about to do my best joke, and somebody runs up with a note. I said, "Do you give me a note now? It's my final joke. Read it, gotta read it." So I read it. It's a bomb threat. It says, "No, everybody has to," and I'm fighting to do my last joke. So it says, "There's been a bomb threat in this bar, you know, because they read there's going to be a gay performer there." So we all had to leave, and I never got to do the joke. But that's as far back as
what was the joke?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know. God, you think I remember from 72? What was the joke?
I know. It's horrible.
Is that the kind of interview this is going to be?
Yes, that is how it is. I'm going to ask you, what you have for breakfast.
Okay.
Anyway.
You know, the other thing is how I became me, Robin Tyler, doing this stuff. I was part of a comedy team with Pat Harrison.
Yes. Oh, we're going to get to that.
Right.
Yes.
But she was the one, when we were done, and we were lesbians, we refused to sign a morals contract with ABC. Because we told Fred Silverman we're lesbians. And he said to us, "Oh, that's okay. Just don't tell anyone. A lot of people are gay."
Yeah.
Well, we were lesbian activists. We were radical feminists. Right. We stopped a Rams Radio football game to call for more scholarships for women. We we did tons of stuff. Patty was a Vogue model. She was drop dead
she
gorgeous.
was gorgeous, yeah.
Gorgeous. And but when Harrison and Tyler were over, because we weren't on television and we had done the college circuit, there was nothing more and I also played the kid to her adult.
Right.
And I was too old to be the kid anymore. So she said, Robin, come out, just be a lesbian on stage. And I said, I wasn't a lesbian, but I didn't know how to make it funny. 'Cause
Right.
nobody had ever made it funny.
Right.
She said, well, why don't you start with telling your mother?
Right.
That's
a great
right. So
bit.
that was my,
Wait, don't tell that yet, because I
won't.
want to get to that point.
But so it's Patty that always pushed me. Patty was the wing beneath my wing. The
wind beneath your wings.
The wind beneath.
Yeah.
She was the wing beneath my wings. It was very uncomfortable. So hard to flap. She was the wind beneath my wings, and now that she's been passed away for over 5 years. When I got married, by the way, I should have married Patty. I married the wrong. I always loved Patty, and so that was my one regret, is that I didn't marry Patty. I can't believe I'm saying
Okay,
this.
but you can say it now.
Well, yeah, Diane's
But
passed
that's,
away, but I couldn't say it. Well,
Yeah.
There's no such thing as same-sex marriage, because
Right.
after marriage, sex is never the same. So
That's funny.
you know, the minute you say I do, they don't, right?
This week's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Now, you know I am a huge advocate for therapy. I talk therapy. I like physical therapy too, but I'm talking about talk therapy. I've been in therapy since I'm 18 years old. There is nothing better. Nothing better. And it is a stressful time. We just had an election. It's the holidays, and we're going to have to spend family time or not spend family time. It's a decision you might make in therapy, because therapy is really the best way, the only way to process your feelings, anxiety, depression, everything. I've been doing it for over 40 years. I know what I'm talking about. So if you've been thinking about starting therapy, if you thought about it for years and just didn't do it, please give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient. It's flexible. It's suited to your schedule. You go to betterhelp.com/JudyGold. You fill out a brief questionnaire. You get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch your therapist at any time for no additional charge. I've done that multiple times in my life, switch therapists. It works. It works. And I know a lot of people who have used BetterHelp, and they love it. So find comfort this December with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/JudyGold today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JudyGold. You're welcome.
So, Robin.
Yes.
You were born Arlene Chernick. Arlene Chernick. I don't know where I got fucking Arlene from. In, was it Winnipeg? You're from Manitoba. Is it Winnipeg?
Winnipeg. And Winnipeg had so many Jews.
My rabbi growing up, Sean Zell, from Winnipeg.
Oh my God! Well, Winnipeg, I was raised. I didn't even know there were non-Jews. Yes, I became friends with Terry Bashuk. He was he was a drag boy, and he was Ukrainian. But other than that, Jews weren't supposed to talk to Ukrainians. I mean, right. So Winnipeg, huge Jewish community, and that's what I was raised in.
So you're growing up, and you talk about how you always thought you were a boy, and
I was the first girl in my generation, right? My dad had 3 brothers, and I was the first girl, and everybody celebrated it. And my mother put me in a dress when I was a baby, and I started to cry for real.
Right.
So I had no idea I was a girl. I always was boy related.
You got your period for the first time.
Yes.
And you went to your mother.
I thought I had been shot and I couldn't feel the bullet. Nobody told you in those days. Yeah, I went to my mother, and she told me that I could, now I could have babies. I said, what? I could, what?
So you're feeling this. You're a boy.
Yeah.
And yet
Well, I'm woman identified
Right.
now, but then you're either a boy or you were Annette Funicello, so there was,
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I've told this on the show before, but I used to go home from school and put on my father's clothes when no one was home. And
Weren't they a little big on you?
well, I don't know if you've noticed, Robin. I'm no, they were a little big on me, but I just wanted to wear a tie. I just wanted to wear a fucking tie. All for those first 14 years, you just felt. I mean, but weren't you segregated in the girls and the boys and the boys and the girls at school and stuff like that?
Yeah, I loved it.
Because you
I
were
was
around
with the
other
girls.
Yeah.
Who? You would think I want to be with the boys?
Yeah.
And when I did find out I was a lesbian in a teenage, you know what they did? They put me in an all-girls class. Can you imagine?
That gets a ring just for that.
Oh, my God. I couldn't concentrate. I had to leave school.
That's hilarious.
So,
so you ran away at 14.
I ran away when they told me that, I got my period and I could get pregnant. I got on a train with no ticket and I headed toward the States.
Now, why would you? You're just like,
I'll tell you why I got on a train, because Manitoba was famous for having the most trains go through it of any place in North America.
Wow.
We were proud of our trains. We had the most trains. If I went a block from my house, I could stand near the train tracks and watch the train go by. So we were raised that trains were like limousines to you guys.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I can get on a train. So I get in a train. And the Mounties, I didn't have a ticket, so they called the mounted police, not in the fancy uniforms that you see.
Oh, yeah, those are hot.
Yeah, but they're very big, these police. And he thought I was a boy, and he said, and so I had finally told them my real name, and talking to a big guy. He wasn't threatening, but he asked me if I'd been abused or something, and I didn't know what he's talking about. And so they ended up taking me home. And my mother was not happy that I had run away, but it was such.
She must have been freaking out.
Well,
how long were you gone?
Only one night. Like they got me right away when you.
Right.
Manitoba, the
She
train.
must have been freaking.
No ticket, boom.
Right.
But they didn't take me to jail. So the trouble was my mother was ultra feminine with the glasses, with the shape of.
The cat eye.
The cat eye glasses.
Yeah.
And they would call her Crazy Minor Chernick because she was crazy. She was on amphetamines, actually. And but she would go to Government Pier in Winnipeg Beach and take her top off, and she'd bathe topless.
No way.
This is in Canada, like
It must have been freezing, too.
No, in the summer, stupid.
All right.
You think in the winter she's going to take
You never know.
what,
the hard
nipples
nipples
at attention?
Yeah.
No, stop, don't go there. I'm clean. I'm a clean act.
You then you went to the Banff School of Fine Arts.
Yes.
Now, your mother sent you. First of all, I was very curious. Were you an excellent student? Because you're so fucking smart.
I was an excellent student up until I found out that I was a lesbian, and they put me in the girls' class. And
Wow.
then I couldn't concentrate.
So
I left school without
isn't
my
there a
high school
story
diploma, and I didn't go to college there until I started lecturing.
Wow. But you ran down the hallway saying I'm a lesbian.
No, I was at the Banff School of Fine Arts, and I had a crush on a girl named Sherry Bernstein at the time, right? Oh, right, of course.
Where is
Jewish.
she?
Right now she's in Vancouver.
Is she a lesbo?
No, she's not a lesbian. But and also she was like one of the heirs to Seagram's.
Wow.
So, but I didn't care that she was from the other side of the tracks.
Right.
You know, I loved her anyway. And you'd never know it. She grew up to be like to go and help people and teach yoga and be
I love
she
that.
grew up to be lovely and very quiet, very soft speaking. It's interesting. But I just loved her because she was gorgeous. I didn't care if she was quiet. And I had this crush on her. So I ran down to the Banff School of Fine Arts and I picked up a booklet called The Ladder. And it really...
Oh, right.
Right? If you're a woman, you love another woman, what you are is a lesbian. Everybody could tell you you're wrong. But if it feels right to you, it is right. Signed, Del Martin and Phyllis Lyon.
Yep.
P.S. Moved to a big city immediately. I added that. It didn't say that.
Right.
But in my head, I'm thinking, oh, my God. And so I thought, this is fabulous. I'm an Aries. I'm Jewish, and now I'm a lesbian. I'll
Right.
tell everybody.
Aries.
So, see, when I came out, I wasn't brave. I was stupid. I had no idea.
No, but you were it's like you're fearless when you don't know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and there was no this is what is so important about your story is that there was no representation.
Well, because you could get 8 years in prison for
Right.
being gay in Canada at the time, or they could sentence you to a mental institution. You know, Frances Farmer, when she had the lobotomy, it was
Right.
because she was a lesbian,
Wow.
and her mother gave her a lobotomy. So, not good.
People need to realize what went on. And it wasn't that long ago. So you went to the Banff School of Fine Arts at 16.
I ran down the hall screaming, I'm a lesbian, I'm a lesbian. And my teacher, who was just like Maggie Smith from the Prime of Jean Brodie, came out and said, there, dear, we're all thespians. That's why we're here. So anyway, that's how I couldn't even come out there, but I came out. And then, I don't tell this story on stage, but I was in Anastasia. And the person that played Grandmama was drop dead gorgeous, this woman. So I put my head in her lap. This is my graduation scene that I'm doing. I put my head in her lap, and the woman says, it was a girl, but gorgeous. Nanochka, she looked like Ava Gardner. Nanochka, is that Ava Gardner was
Yes.
Jewish? Oh my God. Ring that bell. All right. I put my head in her lap, and she says, Nanochka, is that you? And I said, I don't care. I just never want to move. So my teacher said they graduated me because, it's a lot of money to go there.
Right.
My mother only sent me there because I wasn't interested in boys, and she wanted me to meet someone and
Right.
fall in love. And I met Sherry.
Sherry Bernstein.
Sherry Bernstein.
Do you have any siblings?
I had 2 brothers. I have 2 brothers, and I'm the youngest. And
So why did you pick Rob? How did you get your name?
Rob Roy. I saw Rob Roy. Do you know who the Scottish hero?
Yeah.
And you guys had Robin Hood. We had Rob Roy. And I thought, Rob. So I started calling myself Robin. And but I didn't say Tyler, but I got Robin. And then when I moved to New York, I wanted to call myself Tyler Robbins. And my girlfriend at the time, who looked like Kim Novak, said, oh, that's too masculine. Why don't you call yourself Robin Tyler? So I said, okay.
And a light bulb went off, and yeah.
No, I still like Tyler Robbins, if you want to call me that.
All right,
That's-
I'm going to call you Tyler Robbins.
By the way, there's a Jewish version of Me Too called Why Me?
I was gonna.
I thought of that this morning.
I had a joke about, that Jewish book of Why, and I had a joke that I'm gonna do the Jewish book of Why Me.
Okay.
So we think alike. All right.
Okay. Yeah, we
Yes,
do. Yeah, of
the
course
Jewish
we think
book of
alike.
Why Me.
We look alike. We
Yeah.
hate each other very much. Remember that? Tweedledee and Tweedledum?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, God, you're sparking the memories. Okay, so
I go back. I tell my mother, she didn't take it well. If she had had a knife, she would have stabbed herself and poured salt in her own wound. So this was just like the worst thing that
So when you told your mother,
yeah.
okay, I'm just going to ring the bell a couple times. Was it more the Jewish response of, why are you doing this to me? How am I going to tell? Was it, I remember, I think my mother's issue, even though she never stopped talking to me or doing anything, but it was sort of all about her. And, what am I going to tell? And I'm like, Ma, do you know how many of your friends have gay kids? Well, I'm not going to talk about it with them. They don't talk about it with me.
But what year did you tell her you were out?
It was, God, I must have been 90.
Okay, this was
Something,
59.
92 maybe.
A little
91.
different if you tell your mother.
That's true.
There's, I remember my father reading a newspaper, the Canadian National Enquirer, and on the front it said Butch Broad, head of Chinatown Vice. And he was trying to learn about me. And here's this, all they had was all these smear stories about lesbians. So no, she did not take it well. And she didn't take it well, but I didn't care because I felt so good about loving. It was about love,
Right.
I love. I had no idea about sex,
Right. It was an emotion. It was this.
Yeah, it was emotional.
Because I remember knowing that I was gay when I was 3, and it was. But it's so. Why do you think it is?
Do you know where gay comes from?
Where?
Guy, when men used to play women's role in France, they called them guy, G-A-I, gay men playing women's roles. So that's why men took on the word gay.
Oh, wow.
You know, I call myself gay all the time in private. In public, I say lesbian
Right.
because I like the word.
Right.
But, I'm not in private, am I? But gay.
Yeah.
But that's
I
where it
say
came
gay,
from.
too.
Yeah.
But
But on stage, I say lesbian because
Yeah.
then it got the feminists and all that.
right.
This episode is brought to you by Etsy.
Oh.
Hear that?
Okay, thank you.
Etsy knows these aren't the sounds of holiday gifting. Well, not the ones you're hoping for. You want squeals of delight, happy tears,
How did you?
and spontaneously written songs of joy.
I am so happy. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, the song needs a bit of work, but anyway, to get those reactions, make sure everyone on your list feels heard with handmade, handpicked, and designed gifts from small shops on Etsy. Gifts like personalized jewelry, custom artwork, cozy style items, vintage pieces, and home decor to celebrate all of your favorite people and their specific kind of special. For original gifts that say, I get you, Etsy has it.
So then you go to New York. Is that correct? After BAM?
Sherry tells me she's going to get married. She calls me to Ivan Berkowitz. And that's really where I got the title. That's what I thought all my life, always a bridesmaid, never a groom. That's what
Right.
back then. So I remember Del and Phyllis, moved to a big city immediately. So I just
And you hadn't met them yet?
no.
Okay.
No, I hadn't met them. So I read in New York, I read about the Mattachine Society, that people were out, because Terry and I were the only ones, and Albert Lucid were the only ones out in Winnipeg, and they were out because they were effeminate,
Right.
little drag
Couldn't
queens.
hide it.
Huh?
Yeah.
They couldn't hide it, right. And I wouldn't hide it because I didn't think there was anything to hide.
That is the most, I think, for me, interesting thing about you, that you had such agency to know there's nothing wrong with me.
Yeah, but the first thing I read told me there's nothing wrong with me
Right.
from Del and Phyllis. But
But
even
everything around you, that was what I was going to ask. It's like the fact that when you're a little kid, like when I knew that I was gay when I was 3,
Yeah.
but I knew, I'm not allowed to tell her. How do I know that this is something I'm not supposed to talk about?
I don't know.
It's because nothing was around me of 2 women, of 2 men,
Yeah.
So it's like even kids who figure out they're gay now, how do they know, I shouldn't, but
people
yeah.
become leaders because they're the first to do it.
Right.
So I was the one to break the barrier so other kids would know,
Right. But the fact that you always were like, there's nothing wrong with me. There's
No.
nothing. But society is saying to you.
But you can't tell me I'm wrong if it feels good.
Right.
I trusted my instincts. It's like you can't tell me, you can call me a dirty Jew, right? I'm
Right.
not a dirty Jew. I love being Jewish.
Same.
I'm so happy I was born Jewish. And so you can't pull the rug from under me when I know the truth, that I feel good about myself.
Right.
And so I had it.
But that is such an emotionally mature. I just give you such kudos for that.
So I moved to New York.
You moved to New York.
Yes, and I looked like a little 20-year-old boy. I wore a little cap, little sailor's cap.
I love
And-
it. And you lived you could live in a place for 3 days and then they kick you out at the Y.
The Y for girls. 3
Yeah.
days they take you in. It wasn't a Jewish Y. And then after 3 days, you gotta move. So there I am. I look like a little boy with a suitcase, and I'm walking
love
down the
this story.
street.
Yeah.
And these lesbians are in a car, and they yell at me because they're looking for kids to protect. And
They're in a Cadillac.
they're in a Cadillac, right? I think it was a Cadillac.
Yeah.
And they're looking at me, and they said, "Hey, do you need a place to go?" And I said, "Yes, I don't have any place." "Well, come with us." And of course, I got in the car. They looked like me, except fatter. And I mean, they were very big. I was
Right.
a little thing, and they were these big lesbians. And I got in, and who knew about sexual trafficking, all that. I just, I'll come in. And they brought me to a place on 305 West 18th Street, now Chelsea, now very expensive.
Yes, and very gay.
But then it wasn't.
Right.
Then it was very Puerto Rican then. And when I wrote home to Sherry, I said, you know, I thought the national dish in America was hot dogs, but I found out it's rice and beans. I really thought that. So I moved in with Gus, and then I went to my first drag ball because I promised Terry I'd go to a drag ball. You know, my line, when men put on everything we dykes have refused to wear since we were little girls. Why would you choose to wear high heels and a girdle? It's just, it's so hard.
Oh, it's awful.
Oh, God.
It's disgusting. I can't even put my foot in I can't walk in high heels.
No.
Horrible. Sneakers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. What kind? Good sneakers.
Yeah.
Very expensive sneakers.
Oh, please.
And by the way,
$100.
she drove me here in a very expensive car.
Oh,
You have a new car.
I have a new car, and as the audience knows, I have never had a nice car. I've always had a Honda.
I'm not knocking it.
The kids got older, and I said, you know what? I am buying my first luxury car, and I travel so much, and I love it.
What
Thank
kind
you.
of car is it?
Lexus.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's just very comfortable, and I was just like, it's quiet, and I feel like I deserve it.
Why not? Shouldn't have to justify success.
I know, but
all right.
You know. Go ahead.
Where were we?
New York. That you go.
Oh,
yeah.
yes, I go to drag ball on the first floor of the Manhattan Hotel. That's right. And on the second floor, I swear to God, I'm not making anything up. I couldn't make it up. The policemen were having like a convention in that hotel. And so they had their like whatever they do with whiskey and cigars on the second floor. So they found out about the drag ball and they raided it. And they arrested everybody. Because in those days, you were arrested if you were a man, you needed to wear 3 articles of male clothing. If you're a woman, you needed to wear 3 articles of women's clothing. So can you imagine that was so important?
Like the fact that someone thought that up as a law, you know, it's just disgusting. Okay.
Yeah,
so
it is.
they think you are a female impersonator.
They think that I'm a man in a woman's, just like a woman, although I was in pants. And they arrest 44 men and miniature next little girl for female impersonation. And so they throw us in a paddy wagon. They threw us into handcuffs. You know,
I've heard this story. You've said that the other guys were yet like, she's a girl.
Yeah, but they threw us into handcuffs, which is how I got into bondage. And and they arrested me for female impersonation. So they line us up. They take us to the police station and they line us up against the wall. And all the drag queens are screaming, but she's a girl. She's a girl. So the cops say, well, you all call each other girl this, girl that. How do we know? So they allowed me one phone call. Did I call my mother? Hello, Mama, I'm in New York. Busted for female impersonation. Oi!
Yeah,
Take a knife, stab me, pour salt. No, I couldn't afford to call a lawyer. I didn't know about anything anyway. So I've always been very press savvy. So I called the newspaper, and they came down. I think New York Post came down.
Oh, right, yeah.
And they came in and they looked at me. The police were afraid to look to see if I was real because I could sue them. I didn't know that at the time. But the woman came in from the New York Post and took a look at me and said, yes, she's a girl. So they let me go, which is good because if in Canada, if I was arrested, they would have deported me back to Canada.
Oh,
because when you came to the United States, then you had to sign a paper saying, I am not a communist, I am not a drug addict, I am not a prostitute, and I'm not a homosexual to come in here. So I signed it because I wasn't a homosexual. I was a lesbian.
Right.
So
that's perfect.
All right. So they let me go, and the next day there's a newspaper headline. I still have it. I have it. 44 men and a girl arrested for female impersonation. So I thought, you know what? This may be an opportunity. And I decided maybe I could be a female impersonator. So I called the 82 Club, a guy named Kit Russell, and I said, I'm in the paper. Can I come down? He said, sure, come on down. And I said, Kit, I sang for him, right? And I said, I'd like a job. He said, okay, he said, what, you want to be a male impersonator? I said, no, I want to be a female impersonator. This was long before Victoria
Right.
ever came out. Plus, I wasn't heterosexual. So he hired me, and I did Judy Garland, but you had to do the real voice. There was no lip syncing.
Right.
You had to do the voice. And I did Judy Garland, and for 2 years, I became one of the most famous female impersonators in the world. My name was Stacey Morgan, and that's how I made a living.
Oh my God.
But I couldn't dance. They could all move. They were all great.
Right.
So they would put me in a little bunny costume, like if we were bunnies, and
Right.
they'd pick me up to dance. Like I wasn't dancing.
Right.
The big queens would push me around the stage during the dance numbers. But it was owned by the mafia. Peter Petrello ran it. Geneviese's related to Genovese. One night, my brother, who was living in New York, too, my brother Robert, they stole his motorbike. So the next day it was back polished and
that's
yeah.
nice.
So
Well, that's an interesting point that I don't think people realize, that there was no lip syncing. These drag queens from, they had amazing voices.
amazing voices, and the ones that did comedy. I remember Ella Funt did comedy, and then would go on roller skates and roll off stage. How do you stand on stage and roller skates?
Right.
And Kim August could really sing. Oh no, it was fabulous. They were really, really, and a lot of them were not. You couldn't call them drag queens. They didn't want to be called drag queens.
Right.
They were female impersonators.
That's amazing.
Sorry.
Yeah. When did that change? When did that change until the lip syncing? Was that like the 70s, 80s, or?
You know what? I have no idea, but
Because I think about stuff like that. When I watch entertainment, and I think about people like Sammy Davis Jr., who could do everything.
Right.
There were people who did, and there still are. But so many people become, famous icons, and they're not as well-rounded.
I don't think it's good enough just to look good or to be able to look like an act, because anybody you can put on prosthetic material and look like, Diana Ross. But when you can really do the voice.
But also, you think about these old entertainers, all they needed was a stage and a light.
Yeah.
And they could fucking put on a show. It
Right.
was like there
But
was
also,
no pyrotechnics.
even I'm
yeah.
a comic now, but I had to be able to sing. I had to be able to do comedy. I had to be able to do everything to be a performer.
Thank you so much for listening to part 1 of my interview with Robin Tyler. Isn't she fucking amazing? You're going to get so much information. I can't even tell you. We recorded it in Provincetown at the Commons, which is a workspace, and they were having a party upstairs. So it was kind of annoying, so I hope you can hear well, but she's fantastic. So thank you for listening to that. I told you all my dates. This podcast is produced by Laura Vogel, edited by Colin Schmaling, marketed by Haley Dircher. Ring, ring. And my theme song, my wonderful theme song by Lauren Gold, who I fucking adore and love. And that's it. I'm going to have so much to talk about this trip to Israel. I'm trying to save it all for over, a rant. But let it be known that, this is a beautiful, beautiful place. And I'm really thrilled to be here. And not saying I can't wait to come home and sleep in my own bed, but I'm happy here. And I mean, me, I'm happy, whatever. And I had so many people during Women's Week and even here in Israel, saying they listened to my podcast, and I was so excited. And that they listened to the end. So everyone who listens to the end, I love you so much. Also, if you want, send in to on my website your name, and I will say your name and talk about you and how much I love you. So that's it. Please subscribe and leave a review, because that's how I make any sort of money. As I've told you before, I lose money doing this podcast. I end up paying for it. And I would really love it if you subscribed and left a review so I can get more ads and then I can get some fucking money. You know what I'm talking about, baby? Anyway, I don't know what else to say. Thank you. I do want to say a special shout out to my friends Kate and Ainsley for letting us stay at their place in Provincetown while ours is being demolished to get renovated for the first time in 30 years. We're updating. So thank you to those two. We had fun. even though Ainsley witnessed my major temper tantrum before I get ready for my show, and can't talk to anyone, so that was a lot of fun for her, I'm sure. But anyway, thank you all so much for listening. If anyone who has voted already, thank you. Please do. You have to fucking vote. You have to fucking vote. Yeah, I don't know what else to say except I'm going to have more coffee. I love you all. Thank you again so much. Peace, peace, peace. Shalom. But, we're allowed to fight and for our existence. So just leave us a fuck alone. Let me tell you, it's so nice seeing no one's ripping down posters here. You know what I'm saying? It's just, yeah. So have a wonderful, wonderful week. We ate in the sukkah. I could keep talking and talking. I'm done. I'm done. Okay. This is way too long. So thank you all for listening. I love you all. And as we always say, so long.
This sale season, Ritual is urging you to think about what's essential. Your daily health? Pretty essential. Making sure your products are heavy metal tested, clean label project certified, and sourced through a traceable supply chain? Also essential. So this Black Friday, skip the micro trends and put your savings where they matter. Your health. With 40% off daily essentials like stress relief and Symbiotic Plus for gut support. Head to ritual.com/podcast and shop responsibly.